News tonight. Nigerian police to recruit 20,000 personnel within the next 2 years. Oyo State Government, UNICEF advocate for increased COVID-19 awareness at grassroots. Nigerian Air Force sets up inquiry into the alleged bombing of civilians in Yobe State. 7 State Governors Forum insists next president must come from the South. Good evening and welcome to News Round, an Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Wuraola Olakomi. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has departed Abuja to attend the second extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. In a statement today, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, said the meeting is holding over the recent coup in the Republic of Guinea. Osinbajo had last week participated virtually at the ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit on the political situation in Guinea and Mali, where the authority resolved that Guinea be immediately suspended from all ECOWAS governing bodies and statutory meetings. The Vice President was accompanied by the Foreign Affairs Minister of State, Zubairu Dada, and is expected to be back later today. In another story, the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, says it has captured over 63 million residents in the ongoing enrollment of the National Identity Number. The Managing Director of the Commission, Aliyu Aziz, disclosed this at the 3rd National Identity Day celebration in Abuja. He said the figure increased from 6 million in 2015 to 63 million in September. Aziz noted that the NIN has become compulsory for examination registration, banking services, driver's license processing, international passport, and other public services. He noted that the Commission is focused on training the 184 million target set for it by the Minister in the next 4 years, with a monthly target of 5 million enrollment. In another story, the Inspector General of Police, Alkali Baba, says the delay in the recruitment of more police officers is due to the clash of interests between the Police Service Commission and the police hierarchy over the appropriate body to conduct the exercise. While addressing officers and men of the Niger State Police Command at the police headquarters in Minna today, Baba said the dispute has been resolved and the recruitment of 10,000 personnel for the force will commence soon. He further explained that within the next 2 years, 20,000 personnel will be employed by the force to boost its manpower. He added that training and retraining of officers will now be given top priority. About disclosed that about 1,500 houses will be provided for the police to ensure their effective operations. He also urged state governors to take leadership roles in community policing as one of the major ways to end the insecurity facing the country. A former Inspector General of Police, Mike Akiro, has advocated for the establishment of regional police to curb the worsening security situation in the country. Speaking with newsmen, Akiro said security agencies are doing their best, but the lack of equipment and poor funding from the government poses major threat. He urged the federal government to look at the needs of security agencies, equip them so that they can have enough medium of information. Away from that, the Oyo State government, in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, has advocated for increased awareness on COVID-19 vaccine among residents in the state. Speaking at an event organized by the State Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, the representative of UNICEF, Aderonke Akinola Akiwole, said there is the need to educate and clear all doubt about the efficacy and safety of receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. According to her, media practitioners have a huge role to play in demystifying the misconception and rumors about COVID-19 vaccines in the grassroots. She dismissed rumors that the vaccine causes early death and sterility, even as she urged residents to shun all unfounded assumptions about the vaccine. Excuse me. 830 women die daily from preventable diseases related to pregnancy. Care system needs help. Anua Komolafe has details.
The event is to brainstorm on the diverse challenges confronting the health sector, ranging from incessant strike for COVID-19 pandemic, low budgetary allocation to health, emigration of highly trained medical manpower to greener pastures, among others. The guest speaker, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, challenged women doctors to change the narrative, stressing that the system of education has not prepared doctors to be successful outside their core competences.
To think differently about the fact that you have a responsibility to challenge the status quo, because it's not just about you, it's about the value that you can give to a nation, because you have capacity, you have natural innate gift, and you also need to organize yourself and equip yourself to have the capacity to occupy positions of leadership. The entire curriculum for medical training in Nigeria needs to be revisited in a way that you are not only producing doctors, but you're producing doctors that will be efficient managers and doctors that can sit in leadership at any level, addressing many factors even beyond medical.
Also speaking, the former Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, expressed concern that 830 women die daily from preventable diseases. He challenged members of the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria to advocate for improvements in women's health.
Because of their role as mothers, as leaders, as healthcare practitioners, caregivers, mentors, and that they should also speak out. They've been too silent, and we want them to speak out. They are respected, and no matter what they want to do, I'm sure they can achieve it. So let them rise up, we'll follow them.
In our words, the Provost College of Medicine, UCH, Professor Olayinka Umegodin, described the conference as apt, stressing that women are nurturers.
We are at a very, very difficult time in our nation. The healthcare sector is at one of the worst seasons that I have ever known. I was too young during the Nigerian Civil War to know what the healthcare sector was like. But right now, things are not working. We all know that. We have high maternal mortality. Women are dying in childbirth. Children are dying. And there's so much chaos in the land.
The NMA chairman, Oyo State Dr. Fasola, upped on the need to rescue the medical professionals from the present predicament.
I am of the opinion that it is a recognition of these daunting challenges and desperate need to avoid a total collapse of health sector with its attendant consequences, especially on women's health, that M1 choose leadership, governance, and women's health are the theme of this year's conference.
The event gave participants the opportunity to x-ray the challenges and profile solutions.
The theme, leadership, governance, and women's health is truly relevant.
Is leadership, governance, and women's health. Anu Akomolafe, IATV News.
In another story, the Christian Association of Nigeria has faulted the Almajiri system in the north over the increase in cases of banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and armed robbery in the country. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja today, the chairman of the Imo State chapter of the association, Etches Divine, said banditry and kidnapping are increasing because the authorities have failed to pay more attention to the critical factors behind the widespread insecurity in the country. Etches also expressed concern over Sheikh Ahmed Gumi's links with the bandits terrorizing the northwest region, adding that the failure of the federal government to arrest and caution him is condemnable. Away from that, the defense headquarters has debunked a viral video alleging that unjustified measures are being taken against soldiers, including dismissals from service. In a statement today, the Director of Defense Information, Benjamin Sawyer, said the actions of media outlets which provide unverified information is condemnable. He noted that now is not the time for spreading fake news, even as the country is facing incessant attacks, terrorism, insurgency, and banditry. Soya maintained that the military profession has its peculiarities which border on discipline, truth, and respect. He also added that the military has a standard and effective procedure of seeking redress by any aggrieved personnel, even if dismissed. Soya advised media outlets to give the military the respect its services the benefit of doubt to address the issues of discipline raised rather than jump into conclusion of injustice. He cautioned the purveyors of fake news to desist from such or face the full wrath of the law. In another story, the Nigerian Air Force has set up a board of inquiry to probe the alleged bombing of civilians in Yobe State. Speaking today, the Director of Public Relations and Information, Edward Gabwet, said an aircraft has been deployed to observe the virtual activities of the area following intelligence report. Gabwet had, after a first denial, admitted that one of its fighter jets on a mission against terrorists unfortunately bombed civilians. According to him, the denial is based on the first report made available to the force. He urged the Board of Inquiry to thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident. The governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni, has directed government hospitals in Gaidam and Damaturu to offer free medical services to those who sustained injuries during the fighter airstrike in Unisari local government area of the state. In a statement today, the State Director General of Press and Media Affairs, Maman Mohammed, said the governor also directed the State Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to cater to the immediate needs of the families of the deceased persons and other members of the community. The governor commiserated with the families of those who lost their lives in the airstrike. But he also reiterated his commitment to cooperate with all security agencies to ensure the safety of the people. Moving on, sickle cell disease is a hereditary blood disorder affecting the shape of red blood cells that block blood vessels, leading to organ damage and frequent erratic, painful episodes. In commemoration of Sickle Cell Awareness Month, Oluwaseun Oyebade reports some of the challenges of sickle cell patients and how it can be alleviated. The report.
Sickle cell disease is a global public health issue affecting millions of people throughout the world. According to World Health Organization, approximately 5% of world's population carries trace genes of hemoglobin disorders, mainly sickle cell disease, and at least 100,000 babies die from the disorder in Nigeria every year. According to the Global Health Body, more than 300,000 babies with severe hemoglobin disorders are born globally each year, and 75% is said to be found in sub-Saharan Africa, while Nigeria carries 66% of the body in the region. In a bid to stem the statistics, Sickle Cell Hope Alive Foundation educates the general public on how to improve the quality of care and support for sickle cell patients. While speaking, a professor of hematology, Professor Layinka Falusi, intimated the public with the challenges of sickle cell patients.
You know, these people are suffering from birth to the end of life. It's a lifelong issue for them to be sickle cell patients. And our issue with Nigeria is that people don't employ them. Even when they are well read, they don't get employed. Well, they will say, oh, Feniku for Laru. But many of the times, they are good people, they are hardworking, they are intelligent people, and then they get unemployed. And when you are not well, and then you are not employed, definitely there will be frustration. So to relieve the frustration, reduce their burden on them and their families, because everything is out of pocket, no insurance, nothing. So we can't just sit down and say they are not there. They are human beings and they need help. So that is the second thing we are doing. The first one is to get the public to reduce the number, and the second thing is to reduce the burden on these patients.
She further encouraged Nigerians to be sensitive to the needs of sickle cell patients.
You as a person can do a lot for these people. At the end of the year, look at your clothes. The ones you don't need, wash it well, iron it, give it to them. Take a carton of water, give it to them. See somebody crying, you have a car, pick them and take them to hospital. There are too many things we can do without even spending much money. But people always believe in Nigeria that it's only when you have big money that you can do good to people. It doesn't have to be.
One of the people living with sickle cell disease, Adeyi Shakira, charged patients not to hide their status from the society.
For people living with sickle cell disorder, the sickle cell is not a disease. It's not something you should hide. It's not something you should say that people should not know. In fact, if people get to know your status genotypically, it will assist them know how to help you, how to come in when you need the help in terms of job, in terms of marital responsibility, motherhood. People will know how to come in to support you.
Sickle cell disease is a group of blood disorders typically inherited from a person's parents. Oluwaseun Yebade, iHeartTV News.
Away from that, motorists along the General Garciano Church Road axis have appealed to government to rehabilitate the road in the axis to put an end to the hardship faced by commuters. The media plight known while speaking with Impact News crew. Ayodele Fake completes the report.
No doubt, the deplorable state of the General Garciano Church Road axis has become a constant cause of worry to residents, commuters, and business owners in the axis. This is essentially the reason behind the agitations of road users in the axis, as the recent surface dressing done on the road has been washed off by rain. While speaking with Impact News crew, some